Hello and welcome to Josh and Austin Figure Out. I'm Josh.
I'm Austin, and I'm a little under the weather, so apologize for any sniffling or coughing that comes through. But it is that time of year, Josh. We're into
It is.
middle of November.
They say it's the most wonderful time of the year.
If you're a
Several
germ or a
songs.
bacteria, definitely
Mm-hmm. As it's going through the family, through the household.
it is. And as I was just mentioning to you off air, now that we have two kids, it's like every kid that you have, when a sickness enters your house, it just extends. It extends that lifetime of the sickness by another week, probably, because our 2 year old daughter was the first to get it, and she started um, fever, sniffly nose, the usual stuff. Right as she's starting to trend up, then our son got it, and my wife got it, and right as they were starting to trend up, now I got it. So, just reality of this time of year with kids. Someone's gonna get sick, and then they pass it on, and in this happy circle of life. But hopefully, in the next few days, we'll have it all flushed through. How about you? How's the health over there?
Health is good over here. We are all, yeah, we're all in the clear right now, knock on wood. But I know that that will last all of one day before at least one child or adult is sick. But yeah, otherwise things are going pretty well. We've got a roller skating party tonight for our elementary
Really?
school.
Okay,
Yeah, so it's
90s vibes. That'll be
mm-hmm.
fun.
Yep, roller skating, skate night. So I'm gonna take the two oldest boys to that, and so that'll be an activity. I just was thinking last night, Austin. Daylight savings was a couple weeks
Yeah,
ago, and boy, it hit hard this year.
not good.
It seemed like we went from having the kids go play outside every night, after dinner, and then that filled up your night to it just being cold and dark immediately. It felt like there was no transition, and so like we're just inside the last, you know, couple weeks just trying to find activities to do, and I'm like, how are we gonna get through the whole winter? I'm going
It's no
crazy.
good. It's no good, and it hits me hard every year. Like if you think daylight savings time is hard to explain to an adult, try explaining it to a 2 year old that wakes up at 6 in the morning and is like, "All right, it's time to go. Like this is how I sleep." Um,
Mhm.
so not ideal on in the morning or in the evening, as you mentioned. Like uh, the sun's already getting low at like 3:45 p.m. In our part of the world now. And yeah, like you said, there's no going outside after dinner or around dinner. We had our first snow last week here in Iowa. We had about
Yeah.
an inch,
Mm.
and it was like 20 degrees. And you're just looking forward to being shut in for the next 5 months, probably.
No. Oh man, it's rough. It's rough.
That we
I
have
guess
Christmas and Thanksgiving to help push us through. But once you get into January and February,
those
things look dark around here. Feels dark.
it's the slog. Yeah, I was just thinking that too. It's like it's nice that we do have these holidays to break up the madness. And then by the time January gets here, it's like you're kind of counting down, like, oh, the days are actually starting to get longer again
Yeah.
after a certain point, and then pretty soon it's going to be warm again, and then you have that to look forward to. But now we're just literally talking about the annual cycle of weather. This podcasting has peaked. I don't think it gets any better than
We
this.
needed a softball to get us back into the groove here, Josh, because we're again with our start stop schedule of
Yeah,
podcasting, but it's because we're busy. We're both very busy. I've had a
yeah,
busy few weeks. Last we
yeah.
chatted, we had house saga at the beginning. We had an offer accepted on a new house, and we were trying to
Woo.
get ours ready to sell. I believe was
Yeah.
the last update, or we had just put it up for sale.
Hmm.
I'm happy to announce that our house is sale pending as of this past Sunday morning. So we're through that
Woohoo.
part
That's
of the
awesome.
saga. Yeah, thank you. It's pretty exciting. We had a contingent offer arrangement that was due to expire today, as of recording Thursday, and we had the offer on Sunday. So we were cutting it close, but we got it in. Felt really good, big weight off the shoulders, and then I immediately started thinking about all the rest of the stuff that comes after that. So we have home inspections coming next week. We have one at our house. We'll have one at the new house as well. I'm a little nervous about the one at our house because, as I've mentioned many times, we have a very old and ancient, rickety house. I know there are many numerous things that someone could point out, an inspector could point out. I almost thought about telling him, "Don't even come out. I can just give you the list of stuff that I know is wrong with it.
Yeah,
I already know everything
exactly.
that's wrong with it." But
Uh-huh.
unfortunately, that's not how it works. So we'll have that on Monday. I think once we get through that, I'll really be able to like breathe a sigh of relief and start getting excited for the new spot. But that's where we're at.
That's so exciting. Congratulations on
Thank you.
the pending sale and the impending move.
Yeah.
Um, that it's definitely like I remember it being a very stressful time while you're in it, and you just can't wait for it to be over, like
Yep.
moved and settled in and done with everything. So I'm sure that will be soon enough, and it will be excellent
That's
for
definitely how
you.
I'm feeling now. We had unfortunately we are getting close to the end of the year, and the soonest we could close on the transaction is December 18. So
Oh man.
we're gonna be moving. We're gonna be moving our Christmas tree along with us, and then we'll have
hmm
a week in the new house before Christmas morning hits. So we're gonna
hmm
have to be kicking things into gear. We'll call in some family for help with painting and cleaning, whatever else we need to do with the new spot, and then we'll be busting out the Christmas decor and presents and everything right away once we get there. So that timeline is not ideal, but we want it to be in as soon as possible. So we'll make it work for sure. But it's gonna be something. Josh, I wrote on our very long and detailed planning document that we put together every week. Um,
It
is
has 4 bullet
moving?
points, by the way. Yeah.
I wrote down is moving with kids, and I'll add moving with kids around the holidays. Is that the worst thing you can imagine? Yes or no?
Uh yeah, it's got to be up there for sure. I first of all, just the logistics of what do you do with the um, kids, because not only while you're moving, but you have to pack all the stuff too. And
Yes.
so right now for us, like I was just saying, like we're stuck inside every night for a few hours trying to entertain these kids. You have a 1 year old or a baby that they require near constant attention, and then the other kid also wants about constant attention with a kid about your age, and you can't just be like, I need to go pack this entire room because it's just not possible. So that's almost harder, I would guess, than the actual physical move to the new location.
Yes, yeah. I'm trying to envision like thankfully we did an okay amount of packing like when we were trying to get the house ready to sell just for sake of
Yeah.
pictures and showings and stuff. We have a lot of stuff shoved away in our garage, but I'm still looking around the house and I'm seeing a lot of stuff, Josh. We got a lot of stuff somehow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where it came from. Maybe it's
Mm-hmm.
because we
I
had two
know.
kids. But yeah, the thought of like it's probably going to be cold. We're going to have a couple of kids that need constant attention and we're going to be trying to do a significant financial transaction as well as pack every single thing that we own. Um,
Stressful.
so that's
Yeah.
gonna be something. That's gonna be something. I'm definitely gonna be leaning on family. I already told like as soon as we closed, I texted my parents and I was like, "Hey, just so you know, this is the closing date. So clear your schedules because we're
Yeah.
gonna need some serious help when
Yeah.
that rolls around." So I think that's one answer is to have as much help as you can get. But it is like you said. This middle period while you're kind of waiting for closing, not very exciting. Not looking forward to that. Wanting to get that over as soon as possible. But I know once we're in the house and we'll have Christmas there, it'll all be worth it in the end. But I do feel a little bit like I want to fast forward the next month.
Yeah. Are you going to use professional movers? Or are you going to do it yourself?
Very good question. I've considered both angles. I think I am landing on do it myself. And when I say do it myself, I mean myself and 10 family members.
Yeah. Okay.
I
Yeah.
I have the advantage of very large family that live nearby
hmm
and a father-in-law that works in construction that owns many trailers. So I
That
think the
is very
combination,
helpful.
yes, I
Yep.
think the combination of those two things are in my favor. And I think we'll just do the classic, get the whole crew out here on a day, do all the big stuff, have pizza at the new place, and call it good. There is a logistical question here, Josh, that I wanted to ask you about. We close on our current house on the 18th. So we'll have to be out of there on the 18th. We don't get the new house until the 19th, the next day, because of some financial something, like I need to have money to buy the new house, something dumb like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Some weird thing. Yeah.
Some weird thing like that. So there's a day where we'll be homeless. So I'm wondering, like, what do we do with all our stuff? And did you encounter this when you guys moved? Did you have a staggered date before you got the new place? And what do people usually do?
Oh, that's a good question. We for our first home, very first home, I remember I got rid of my apartment and then I moved into Bree's apartment and we stayed there a couple nights
Hmm.
because this was right before we got married. And that's what we ended up doing for that. But for our most recent one, we didn't do it on contingency, so we had like a little bit of an overlap,
Hmm.
like a week, I think, and so that was very helpful because we were able.
Very
We
nice.
had like a like an official moving day that we just did everything, but then we weren't like rushed, and we can like okay, we can move this stuff over gradually if we need to. So
Hmm.
that worked out really well for us. Again, not a usual circumstance, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I recommend for you. Hopefully, maybe one of your family can put you up for the night.
Well, it's funny you say that. I'm glad that you're on the call today because I was wondering what you're doing on the night of the 18th. If you have
Oh,
a
wow.
spare bedroom and storage unit.
We're really busy. I'll have to check my schedule, but I just
I don't get
knew
it.
like
I don't get it. The week before Christmas, why don't you want to put me up? No, we'll figure it
yeah,
out.
that's true.
Like you said, I think we'll be probably at my parents, and all of our stuff will be in various trailers. I think for the night. So I think we should be okay. We considered asking the new house folks if we could move anything in early because the house is actually vacant right now, our new spot. But I know there's complications there with their worried about liability and
Yeah.
us, I don't know, hurting ourselves and who
Right.
knows what else. So we might ask about that, but we'll have to make ulterior plans either way.
Yeah. Well, I wish you the best of luck. We'll probably get another cast in before then, for
Yeah,
sure.
hopefully.
But yeah, I'm excited for your new adventure, and I'll have to see it someday. To see your new house.
Yeah, we'll have a new pod background in the near future
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
rest of the folks to keep their eye out for.
For our
Um,
YouTube viewers.
yeah, our many dozens of
Hmm.
viewers.
Yes.
Enough about my saga, Josh. What have you been up to? What have you been thinking about?
Gosh. Well, I went to Toronto, which is a city in Canada,
Yes,
for work, and so I went there last week, and it was good. It's good to see some coworkers in person and do some work. My flights were not delayed or canceled. If you, it's kind of
really.
having seen the recent news of the government shutdown stuff and how that was affecting flights. I'm very glad I wasn't on the tarmac for like an hour and a half. So yeah, that was fun. And then Bree was here treading water with the kids the best she could uh,
Yeah.
in the deep end. But that was my most recent stuff. And then, gosh, we went to Chicago the weekend prior to that
Wow, we
for
got a
a little.
globetrotter over here. You're just
I know.
bebopping and scatting all over the place.
In fact, I was in the Chicago airport exactly 1 week apart, and I was leaving from the same gate a week later too. So,
Wow,
yeah,
look at you.
we flew to Chicago. We saw an improv show, Ben Schwartz comedy, and that was fun. So good.
I won't ask you to compare your trip with your coworkers versus your trip with your wife. But could you hit me with some highlights from both trips? I guess start with Toronto. What was it? Just a team specific offsite, just trying to get some face to face time with folks, or did you have a specific goal in mind when you went?
Yeah, team offsite. We had a goal of just, I think, kind of doing some retrospective stuff and also strategizing and planning for improving efficiencies.
Yeah.
No, just the normal stuff. Team building. We went out to an arcade bar the second night, and that was fun. They had a place with lots of games and stuff. And then I stayed in a hotel. The hotels in Toronto were extremely expensive, and we couldn't figure out exactly why. it could have been related to the fact that like the Toronto Blue Jays were in the World Series and maybe people had like booked up a bunch of rooms and spiked the prices.
Can see that.
Um, but they had lost already, like
Yeah.
to the LA Dodgers right before. So that literally the day before I got there.
Oh,
So the timeline doesn't really work out on that. But I had to stay in a hotel like 30-minute walk from the office, which is unusual. But I really enjoyed that walk because it was like it got my exercise in. I was able to listen to some podcasts. Felt like a big city kid heading to work, heading back from work.
yeah, and you got to mentally prepare yourself for seeing your coworkers in person.
Yep.
And
Yep.
to gear
Exactly.
yourself up for that. That's a different experience.
Yeah. Oh, when we were there, it was take your kid to work day, and I think it's like a province-wide thing, maybe.
Wow.
And so like everyone had their kids there, and that was cute to
Nice.
see their kids. I was like, ah, wish I would have brought my kids. But
Yeah. Yeah,
they
you sent a
were
picture
far
back to
away.
Bree like, "Hey, look at all these people taking their kids to work. How are things at home with all three of them?"
Yeah. The nice thing about take your kids to work day is the cafeteria at work makes really good breakfast and lunches because it's
Nice.
like waffles and the lunch was like pizza and there was cookie. They actually put out cookies, so
Yeah.
that was pretty cool. You got to pretend
Yeah.
you were like a kid in a school lunchroom.
Just swapping pudding with your neighbor and everything.
Yeah.
That's
For
great.
Chicago, besides the main event, which is like the show we went to Saturday night, which is great,
Hmm.
we were originally going to go with another friend couple we know, and they couldn't come at the last minute, but they had set up a architecture tour. Oh, sorry, not architecture. It was called like oh, what am I thinking of? Ghosts and Gangsters tour for Chicago, which was kind of like an architecture walking tour.
Hmm.
And so we decided, okay, we'll still go to that. It sounds like a fun activity, and it was right by our hotel. We show up, we walk around the corner of this building where we're meeting outside on the sidewalk, and standing there was Bree's cousin and her husband,
Okay.
and
And that's not who you were
like,
originally planning on seeing.
no, no, not at all. And so like, what are the literal odds that you would
Wow.
run into somebody like a relative at this one random showing of this walking tour in this big city?
That is
Um,
crazy.
and
And you guys
so,
like this cousin, hopefully?
yes, we do. Well, yeah. Well, the thing is, like, we haven't seen them since our wedding, which was we went
Wow.
to Chicago for our 10-year wedding anniversary, and so it was like, oh yeah, 10 years later, here we are, just like we
That's
planned.
crazy.
So it was nice. That was a fun time catching up with them, and he's turns out her husband is from the Fort Dodge, Iowa area,
Oh,
and like
okay.
rural, like a stone's throw from where I grew up, which is also
Yeah.
like a rural area. So talking about
Yeah.
all these small towns like Dayton, Otho, yeah,
Duncan.
Boxholm, Duncombe, yeah,
Yeah.
all the fun places. So
Yeah. It's
anyway,
rural Iowa boys. We have to stick together.
we do. Yeah, that's my life recently. It's going pretty well.
Well, that's busy. That's a lot of miles traveled in the last few weeks. Are you doing any traveling for the holidays? Or are you sticking around
We
for once?
decided we need to do one more trip, so Bree and I are going to go to New York City in
Really?
December. Yeah, we're going to go see more things. We're going to what are we going to do?
Are you going to see the Christmas tree,
Oh,
the skating rink?
yeah, we're going to see the basic like Rockefeller Center stuff.
Yep.
All the shops done up. We're going to see a show called Oh Mary by Cole Scola. It's a different actress playing the role of Mary this time, but it's on Broadway. And then we're gonna go see another show, some other
Okay.
people. So yeah, that's gonna be a fun little getaway.
Oh, you're
That's
just a man about town, Josh. You're a man about town. You're Mr. Culture over here, just worldwide
would you
traveler.
would you rather be traveling around and going on fun trips or selling your house and moving? Which is more exciting?
Well, I did want to ask you, Josh, what's your babysitter hookup to be able to go on all these overnight trips? Well, I need to you need to let me in on this secret. Do
It's
your parents want to watch
challenging.
my kids too?
Yeah, we have yeah, we'll send them. We have Bree's mom came and stayed at our house and watched the boys, and we also had a babysitter come help her at nights, which is helpful. to get
Very
everybody fed
nice.
and bathed. And then for the New York trip, we're gonna send them up to my parents' house. And so then
Okay.
the other challenge too, I don't know if we talked about this. We've got two dogs, and so you're
Yes.
kind of
Oh,
on the hook
wow.
for watching those too. So we're gonna try a thing. I think we use like Rover.com. This is
Hmm.
the first time we're gonna go do a meet and greet this weekend with a family in Adele. To see if our
Okay.
dogs vibe with them, and if so,
See if it's a
then we
match.
see if it's a match. I would assume it is, but I guess if we show up and they're like it's just really chaotic, and they're like, I guess we can't do this.
So did you have to
Um,
like make a dog profile and then swipe left or swipe right on
Pretty
someone
much.
that
Bree
can
handled all of that, all the dog matching, and she said she got like two matches right away. Um,
your
so
dog's
that's
like
really
long
helpful.
walks on the beach and you don't know if that's gonna jibe with this other couple.
Yeah. We'll see. I'll report back on how that goes too.
That's big. That's big.
Yeah, and we've never done like a doggy daycare or anything for them or boarded or anything. So it will be a big step, and hopefully it goes well. Hopefully they don't run off and disappear.
Yeah, that's a big logistical challenge. But so if your parents are watching this time, that means Bree's mom is free. So
Mm.
just pass along the contact info. I'll see if she wants to watch any more kids next month.
Yes. Oh boy. Okay. So,
Uh,
what is new with the world of technology? Because our listeners are probably just dying to say, "All right, get over this, all this fun stuff. Let's talk about technology." That's why they're
yeah,
here.
yeah, exactly.
Um,
Josh, the answer is I don't have a clue what's going on in the world of technology because I've been
yeah,
signing papers and checking Zillow 10 times a day.
yeah.
Um, I've bopped in every once in a while to see what's going on in tech Twitter, reading some news, etc. I tell me if your vibe is similar, because maybe I'm off base here. Maybe it's just in my circles, but I feel like the AI hype is settling in a little bit. Like I don't know, there's still money flying around and people going crazy and saying everything's gonna change, but I feel like the majority of reasonable people are just kind of like, all right, we know what AI and LLMs are capable of for the most part for now and for the near term future.
Yeah.
And we're just kind of used to like they're in our workflows. They're helping us write. They're helping us do code. They're helping us plan. And that's kind of the extent of it. And I think most like reasonable like people that actually use them know that's kind of the spot that we're in and will be in for a little while. That's kind of my feeling. I don't know. What's your response to that?
I feel the same thing. I feel like the big initial hype that we felt the last, couple years is leveling off. It's I think people are speaking out against just the the veracity of all these claims that it's changed everything. Even the new models introduced are, yeah, they're slightly better at some things, but at the end of the day, we're still a long ways away from agents fully automating and taking control over everything. I still see a lot of opportunity for building products and using AI and like leveraging it for solving cases where otherwise it's like a lot of toil that's very difficult to do things. And I think that involves probably going and building a bunch of somewhat boring enterprise software. So that's why I don't think people get super hyped up about it. It's just like, oh, you still have to go do work and find
Yeah.
a need and build something. Um, yeah,
Yeah, I think it's funny you say that because I was thinking about this just yesterday at my job, my new job, uh, at Workiva, because Workiva deals with a lot of um, financial reporting, governance, risk compliance documents, sustainability data and reporting, that kind of thing, where it's like wading through large regulatory PDFs and gathering significant amounts of data that needs to be tagged and tracked and reported on correctly. And I'm like, that there's a lot of interesting use cases there for AI and LLMs where it's like, I need summarization, I need data to be looked at and transformed in specific ways. I need reports generated from specific regulatory frameworks. That kind of thing is like seems like an area ripe for the usage of LLMs, or at least LLM assisted workflows, and that's right down the middle, like you said, of like quote unquote boring enterprise software that everyone needs, but is not going to get the Twitter headlines. And Workiva does have some AI stuff in the platform already, and is planning on doing more in the future. But I think your statement is spot on there, though.
Yeah, for sure. It's we're still, all in on it as far as where I'm working, and we're still kind of seeing what works and what doesn't. But yeah, I still appreciate it for stuff that I don't want to do. Like, oh, this task, yeah, I'll throw a thing at it and see if it gets it and tweak it and all that stuff. Uh, but I have not been super inspired recently to do anything completely uh, unheard of, I guess.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, I think I'm in the same boat, and it's also been pretty helpful in my new role as like a learning partner or a tutor, I guess, because I'm working in new languages and a new business domain, new repos,
mm,
and it really does a great job at like gather the context of this huge code base that I don't really know about and just give me an overview or like where do I look, or I'm trying to do this thing. Are there any other spots that something similar is done, or I want to do this in Kotlin. This is how I do it in TypeScript. Can you help me like translate? Like a lot of those just day to day things of like making me productive in an unfamiliar environment that I think would have taken me a lot longer to get up to speed on. It's been super, super helpful
yeah.
in those spots. So I remain where I've been this whole time as kind of an AI centrist, which is a boring spot to be, but it's still the
Hmm.
truth, I think.
Yeah. Well, on the subject of things I think are cool, uh, is stuff that Cloudflare has announced recently. And we always come back to the Cloudflare bucket or the Laravel bucket as far as
Yep.
inspirations for topics. But a couple things that have piqued my interest recently are, first of all, Captain Web or Cap'n Web, CAPNWEB. This was a thing that was announced, I don't know, a couple months ago. Uh, and I can't remember the full context, but it's kind of the next evolution of Captain Proto. Have you heard of Captain Proto before?
Oh, you're gonna have to give me a full 101 on this whole situation.
All right, so this thing like protobuf is this kind of communication RPC format. It's really spearheaded, I think, by Google,
Yep.
but it's a way to encode these structured messages that have backwards compatibility and everything, in a binary format. But you author the messages and then you compile them down, and then you can communicate and unpack them, pack and unpack them. So this project, Captain Proto, I think. Was I think a major version was authored by Kenton Varda, who went on to go
Hmm.
work at Cloudflare and
Yep.
create Cloudflare Workers. He brought the same concept of like this RPC to this new front end library called Captain Proto, and it's a way to do like bidirectional function calling between server and client. So today, like we're used to spinning up these things. The simplest example is like a REST endpoint on a website, and you'll post to this endpoint slash API slash posts, and you'll include a payload with it, and that endpoint on the server has to validate that all the things are correct, and then the client has to refresh and uh, hope that all the data is correct and validated as well. Um, the cool thing about the cat and proto approach is that you have a like a contract that the front end and back end know about, and is it can't be violated, but it allows you to do like really efficient data transfer streams between server and client. So I can call a function and it gets executed on the server and it gives me my response back. Um, there's also really cool stuff you can do is like promise chaining. So I can call a method and call additional methods, but I don't have to use await on that. And so rather than making like 3 round trips to a server, it will just dispatch like one chain to from the client to the server, and it knows how to like perform those operations and return back the correct response. So I'm definitely not doing it justice here, but I think it's kind of cool, and it's a cool way to to think about building sort of APIs that you're building in your web app.
Yeah, that's really
Yeah.
cool. I feel like I've always been attracted to more like RPC or command and query patterns, I guess, because I just seen like so many gnarly REST APIs where it's just like um I don't know, trying to shoehorn stuff into REST that doesn't really fit into REST, and then I at some point I'm just like, ah, let's just get rid of all of it. Like, let's just have function calls. Like, I
Yeah.
just want to call functions. So
Hmm.
something like that has always been attractive to me. This Captain Web thing looks really cool. I feel like Cloudflare is always coming out with these projects that are like really interesting and like, oh, it's 10 times more performant than what you were doing, and it uh, has this like really sleek interface and all these things. So it's hard to keep up with all the stuff that they're doing, but I'll definitely have to uh, give this a look next time I'm in API land.
Yeah. On a similar note, another thing that Cloudflare also recently introduced is this idea of worker like modules or worker loaders. And
Okay.
so they have this thing called containers that they announced, I don't know, about in the last year, where it's you can uh, define a Docker file and then dispatch requests to this container that it spins up and hosts in the cloud somewhere. It's this hugely requested feature. Everyone, felt hamstrung by only being able to run a certain flavor of JavaScript in Cloudflare's massive um, deployment path. But containers really unlocks every other thing, which is great. But there's this other use case where you want to sandbox some JavaScript code, but you don't want to have to like go through the deployment pipeline of a completely separate worker. I think agents is the number one use case where you're having untrusted code be generated, but you still
Yeah.
want to evaluate it and run it. Well, they Cloudflare already runs their workers platform on V8 isolates, and so these are an alternative to containers. They're much faster. They let you spin up essentially like little sub instances of a V8 runtime, and they've been built on this for years. But they've just exposed the ability to define your own uh, like sub worker system within a given Cloudflare worker script. So this unlocks the ability to uh, execute code that has access to, whatever you give it access to. You can restrict outbound network access to certain websites if you want. You can have it. You can run it and feel pretty confident that it's not gonna like hijack your system. But I think that unlocks a lot of cool possibilities. The problem is I haven't thought of any cool ideas to build anything with it yet. So, but the technology is very exciting to me. You know?
Yeah, really cool. So you're like you're talking about a Cloudflare worker that can make other Cloudflare workers, basically. Like,
Yeah, and they're like
this
very
is
small, like throwaway. They're not like meant to be, I think, long lived or anything. But it's just like, yeah, it just spins up a sub, sub worker. And there's probably a reason they're not calling it sub worker, but
yeah, yeah. You can think about it like that a little bit.
hmm.
Yeah, that's really cool. Add it to the list of like cool Cloudflare tech that I want to build something with that I
Hmm.
probably won't in the near future.
Yeah,
But they're always churning out stuff. It does like, uh, I guess maybe bring me into my last bullet. Maybe we can close with this, Josh, because I got to
yeah,
run here in a few minutes. But I feel like the last 6-ish months or whatever, I've kind of been semi disconnected from tech Twitter and the greater tech news ecosystem. Just like I don't know, feeling a little burnt out on keeping up with everything, and haven't really had time or space to work on my own stuff, which makes it frustrating then to see all the new stuff that other people are doing. But I feel like yeah, once I get past this house move and the holidays, I'm starting to feel the itch a little bit to get out there and build something. I haven't built a side project in a little while. I haven't tested out any new tech in a while,
yeah,
and I felt that itch to try it again.
yeah.
Um, in the near future. So here's to hoping I can get some time to go scratch that sometime.
Yes, I hope that for you as well, and that we have cool new Austin experiments to look at in the future.
Yeah. What about you, Josh? You been hacking on anything lately or no? No
No, I
time?
haven't. No time. No.
That's
Yeah.
why I need to call Bree's mom so she can watch my kids for me and I can build
Yeah.
apps.
Exactly. I'm sure that'll go over well. Yeah. It's just like, yeah, Josh, give me your number.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, he said you can watch my kids anytime.
It has been a pleasure catching up with you, Austin. Um, we wish you the best of luck with your housing, moving and everything. But oh, and happy Thanksgiving. Odds are we will probably
Yes.
not have another podcast out before Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, back
Uh,
to you as well, Josh. Enjoy your holidays. Thanksgiving's my favorite holiday, so I'm very much looking forward to that. Even though we'll be probably packing at the same time. But yeah, thank you for your well wishes. Right back at you. If you have any moving boxes or babysitters, send them my way.
I will. Sounds good. Talk to you later.
All right. Thanks, Josh.
Bye.